again. Sorry for that. Sorry for the hiccup there. Yeah, just trying to keep alive in this one myself. Can't imagine how tired these two players must be playing at full speed at max capacity for so long. Tim sending more vills over to this wood line that just got raided. Keep an eye on that. That seems like an area that could get raided again. He's also going to expand toward the wood line here from the Max. Max is going to send over a couple skirms to deal with it. We talked about the Max having a lot of wood on his side of the map early, and it's starting to really pay off for him. Also, his 4 relics have given him a massive difference in gold at this point in the game. If we look on his side, he's still spending that gold quickly. He's still in trouble for wood, but I think he has more potential to gather resources. Tim, although he was looking pretty destitute a moment ago, seems to be Johnny on the spot here. He's going to arrive with an entire unit of elite skirms here. He's going to walk right into the back of the Max's eco and start grabbing vills. The Max is on 77 vills, but maybe more importantly, he's lost a lot of his TCs here. I think he might be on 1 or 2 TCs at this point in the game. The reason that he is that Tim keeps sending in rams, and he's targeted down 3 different TCs and a couple of different castles as well. Tim here is being incredibly effective, although his opponent might have the better map for the late game and does have more relics. Tim's done a really good job to basically hit the Max where it counts. Now he's rolling into that eco with elite skirms. He's idling villagers on wood. Max on 300 wood at the moment, and that number is probably going to continue to drop. Wood eco's in a bit of trouble, and villager count is getting low. It's going to take a long time to replenish. Tim, on the other side, has a massive amount of wood in the bank. I think this is a really wise move on his part. Just be banking a bit more wood than even what he needs. At the moment, 105 vills for Tim, 87 military, getting pretty close to pop cap. The Max is not that close at the moment. Max on 102 military. He does have elite plumes left, which is going to give his army a little bit more power than his opponent's army. But in the long run, it does seem like Tim is going to lose this particular fight. Castle under pressure, 1 treb there from the Max. No doubt the gold that he used to buy that was relic gold. He's just able to build a treb here and there, and just that 1 treb is going to get him a castle. This army is going to be enough to defend the treb for a while. He's going to knock down Tim's front castle, start knocking down barracks if he can. In the meantime, though, the red player is not going to let the Max off the hook here easily. He's going to send in some skirms right into the middle of that eco. Still grabbing down more vills from the Max. We will also see another group of elite skirms coming through the other side. Not patrolling for a moment there, but they're still going to win this fight against the Max. He just doesn't have enough numbers. Reinforcing should be able to hold the line. Onager on the way over as we speak. So the blue player here is able to build the occasional treb, and in this case, that treb is going to knock down 3 or 4 buildings. It's also going to be a nice little honeypot to try to attract Tim's army to maybe come out and fight in an area that they might otherwise not want to fight in. Red player taking wood right on the front, right underneath the nose here of the Max. Still a couple of elite skirms inside the eco here, but Tim is slowly getting cleaned up. He'll get cleaned up there. The Max is starting to make a push with some elite plumes. He's also got skirms on that side. 15 military advantage for the blue player, but he's got the higher quality unit. He's still got quite a few elite plumed archers here, and his 1 treb is doing work. It is doing work. Time to pack up, I suppose, and get out of dodge. Looks like blue player, the Max, is starting to expand towards some wood lines on the back corner of the map. His opponent in red is still taking wood right in front of the Max's base. He has to. Tim has to take wood in those areas because he's just running out everywhere else. This 1 corner is also incredibly pivotal to his eco. The other parts of the map are pretty much totally chopped out. Lots of areas are chopped out at this point. We are seeing some really nice trash raiding from Tim, sending in a couple skirms here and there. Max on 69 vills, but he's got 92 units in his military. Seems to be able to keep military production up pretty well. although he's been way behind on villager count for quite a while. Tim with 7.5k wood in the bank, that might seem excessive, but I think it's really important for him to bank as much wood as he can. Gotta keep banking up that wood as the game goes on. The Max on the other side is much more balanced, but he is not quite as likely to lose wood here soon. Max is not likely to lose wood anytime soon, guys. He's not going to lose his wood. No, seriously though, he does have quite a lot of wood lines left. So I don't think he needs to bank it quite as much as Tim does. Okay, so for the moment, let's go ahead and see what players have been selling off here. Let's see, 4 relics for the Max, 6.1k gold in the bank for him at the moment. Let's see, kill losses, there we go. Bought and sold resources. Looks like Tim has sold some food and wood, and that has been a pretty large amount. But nobody is, there's nothing major there. Nothing really to write home about, especially for a game that's this far in. We will see a Treb here from the Max probably go down to some skirms, maybe? I don't know. Treb will stay alive for the moment. Tim is doing some raiding. He's doing a good job to continue to build up halbs. I don't know even if the Max has gone to halb at this point in the game. Seems to be more focused on continuing to crank out the occasional group of plumed archers and the occasional Treb. Looks like for now, Tim will have to leave that front wood line. Okay, couple K food, couple K wood for the Max at the moment. Still gathering gold rather quickly. Tim is now banking 8k wood. Oh boy. I want to see what Tim's wood amount looks like at the end of this game, but right now he can afford to lose his wood lines for several minutes, and he can keep up his food economy. Anyway, elite skirms and halbs roaming forward for the red player. Blue player has sent really a huge part of his army to the north. Several onagers and quite a few plumes and elite skirms. There are a lot of castles here in defense for Tim, but that blue army is really massed up on top of this hill, very focused on making sure that they don't lose this wood line, I suppose. Wood lines being raided. Tim here is coming in and grabbing a couple of vills from the Max. I don't think Tim fully understands the extent of what's left. I guess he does. Yes, he does. He's done some great scouting. Tim probably knows that the Max has a lot more wood lines, but he is still going to raid this part of the map and grabs down some free vills for the time being. Blue army is going to slowly start to roll in. There's one Treb mixed into that group. That Treb is on about half HP, but it is hitting this castle and it's going to knock it over. This castle is going to go down to a Treb, and then Tim might be in a little bit of trouble. Going to be a little bit open on that top side of his base. Castle drops. Another castle down. We've seen several castles destroyed for both players. Tim will have 4 left. The Max with just 1 castle at the moment. Not having a lot of castles to his name, but right now, right now the Max is still well ahead in the score lead. He's able to sustain quite a bit of raiding from his opponent. He's done almost no raiding whatsoever of Tim's economy. So far has played incredibly defensively. He's still got a group of plumes alive, packing up his Treb to move forward and continue to knock down buildings. Tim at the moment with no food in the bank, no gold in the bank, not a lot of stone either. Having a lot of issues with resources. Can crank out trash for quite a bit longer than his opponent. May even be able to afford another Treb or 2 in the not so distant future. Anyway, continued raiding on Tim's wood lines. We saw Tim with 8k wood in the bank a minute ago. He is down to 7, but he will sustain himself for quite a while longer. He's still going to be able to build trash. He's still got plenty of room to farm, and he's got a little bit of a wood eco. This is slowly starting to strangle him, though. We'll have to see how this one plays out. Yeah, look at Tim here. Tim's just taking like a massive chunk of villagers, 30 villagers coming forward to take wood on this wood line. There's only a skirm or 2 from the Max for now. Tim will send over 5 or 6 skirms to defend this area. It's almost as though his castle would have been better, like, defending this wood line. Wood line turned into the most important part of the map on that side. For now, Tim will control that wood line. It is very cobbed up, villagers bumping into each other and blocking each other's paths. But at least they have some sweet, sweet wood to consume. The Max here is going to probably send an army in that direction in not too long. 3 shakes of a lamb's tail, I believe, how long it's going to take. Once that army gets over there from the blue player, Tim stands to lose a large chunk of his ego. Here we go, onager shot, falling right on top of a lot of those hounds. Second onager shot's even better. Skirms are going to clean up the rest. Tim will lose a large group of units there for free, trying to run in and do some damage. Not able to get close enough to kill these onagers. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe you can get this one on the bottom. One onager might go down to house. Probably not. Okay, so the Max will soon roam forward, I would think, and hit Tim on this wood line. Tim is taking that wood line so aggressively. He is just going to basically chop the entire line out as fast as he possibly can before the Max comes and takes it over. The Max has an army to the north as well. He's also knocking on the door of this second northern castle. 4 castles still up for the red player, who's going to kill this Treb with skirms. It was going to go down. Castle is somewhat damaged. That Treb certainly got good bang for its buck. Killed 3 or 4 buildings, including the castle. Tim, for the moment, is going to... yeah, he's going to be hemorrhaging vills on the bottom. There's 5 or 6 skirms here, but they will one-shot a vill by the looks of it. And 2-shot a vill. And that is going to be a problem. Tim's going to lose a lot of vills on that wood line. Still has 5.5k wood in the bank. But you can see how quickly it's going to dwindle once his wood economy is gone. He's lost that wood eco he had on this side of the map. Blue player, the Max, taking that away. Max is now focusing on wood lines on the side. Tim's still got a wood economy right in front of the Max's base, but for now that is safe. And he is full-on streaming units straight toward that wood line. It is time for Tim to come in and do some trash raiding. The Max is really out and about, putting pressure on all these wood lines and all these different areas. And while he's out of his base, it's a good time for Tim to run in and do some raiding. Tim is going to run into the Max's base and do some raiding. There's 1 defensive castle. There's a new TC on top of this hill for the blue player. But other than that, his eco is pretty damn open. See some halbs roaming through here and idling a lot of villagers. Both players on about 60 to 70 vills. They're deleting vills and exchanging them for military. Maybe they're just seeing vills die and not replenishing them. Blue player at the moment still rolling forward, still taking over small chunks of land at a time. We're going to see trash v trash in the middle, and the trash raiding is not terribly effective yet. I think Tim here had the element of surprise, but it looks like his trash is not really focused on killing any vills. Seems like that trash is just taking on buildings and doing silly stuff. Elite plumes will come back here to try to help win the day. Lots of elite skirms here from the red player. But 1 onager shot from the Max would really probably be enough to yeah, there you go. 1 onager shot to the face there is probably enough to convince the Max to send in his elite plumes. They are massively outnumbering these skirms now and should win that fight easily. Couple more skirms on the hill for Tim, but he is outnumbered in that area as well and will get cleaned up. Lots of good raiding in the back here for the red player, starting a lot of fires inside the base here of the Max. Grab down a few more vills and control the wood for the moment. Tim for now with 4.6k wood, 1k food. The Max on the other side, 1k wood, 2k food. He is actually at risk of losing this game if he loses his wood. Got to keep that wood up. Keep that wood up. Anyway, at the moment, 54 villas for each player, 110 military for each player. Dead even, probably in military quality. Both players mostly building trash with a little bit of siege here and there. Let's see, a couple skirms here from the blue player are doing pretty much nothing in that top corner. Tim, for now, is still trying to mine out, or rather chop out this last wood line. He's done a really great job of taking most of that wood, but eventually his villagers will get cleaned up on that side. Rams rolling forward from Tim, going to take down a couple buildings here from the Max, or rather rolling back to take over a couple of those buildings. At the moment, the Max's wood eco is questionable. Questionable at best. It looks like he will not have villagers on wood anywhere that I can see. I don't see a single lumberjack at the moment. Not seeing a single lumberjack at the moment for the Max, but he is on wood. Where is he? Well, we'll keep looking around the map, but for the moment, it is definitely a battle for scraps. Both players just need... Sometimes the least sexy of all resources is wood, but right now it is all that matters. All you need is wood and farms, and you can keep your economy floating. Blue player is finally going to get in, maybe do some more serious raiding in the gut of Tim's eco. Tim has really not been bothered in this area or in the main area of his economy for probably an hour of game time. Holy sweet Jesus, we're an hour and 45 of game time. And these guys are still going at it. And although the Max he's got a little bit higher quality of an army with some plumes here, he's got fewer castles, and he's just been like gutted over and over and over. Gonna have a huge military right now and try to make a push to win this game. Certainly gonna start starving Tim of wood eventually, but right now he himself is starving. Tim at the moment with 2.6k wood, but that is really not much. He had 6k a minute ago, and he's just been losing ground since then. Blue player has made it back to a wood line here, has built a TC to keep some of those villagers safe. He's also chopping a little bit of wood on top of the map. Tim is just desperately trying to grab this last couple scraps of wood before all of it is gone. This is going to be a fight down to the last resource. This is truly a marathon game. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. This is Killer B, probably somehow trying to get through this game. It's about 4 a.m. over here where I'm at. Trying to keep myself up late tonight. Super Bowl is tomorrow. Oh boy. Speaking of Super Bowl, that was the Super Bowl of onager shots. Really effective shot there, killing, I don't even know, maybe a dozen elite skirms or more. Tim making a bit of a push into the middle of the Max's base, going to basically push the blue player off of this wood for a little while. But in the long run, Tim's not going to win that fight. The Max seems to have plenty of units nearby. Tim down to 1k wood. He's really starting to dwindle. He really doesn't seem to have any wood coming in. Just a little tiny bit of wood here and there. Probably just these villagers on the bottom is all he's got working right now. Max, on the other hand, he's got less wood. He's had less wood than Tim almost all game, but he's had a steady economy of it, just a better positioning of his wood lines on the map. Let's look at the relics one more time, not to beat a dead horse, but we have seen 8.1k gold coming in for the Max because of his difference in relic number. Pretty massive amount of relic gold. It's allowed him to build more onagers, which have been pretty damn game-changing. It's allowed him to keep an army of plumes alive and kicking. Those plumes have gotten a ton of mileage this game, and they've really kept the Max ahead. The Max has been able to build a couple of trebs as well, which have done a lot of great damage. All of that being said, Tim here he's still not really surrendered any ground. He controls a huge swath of the map. If he could find a safe place to take wood, I think he could win this game. Right now, he's really struggling with finding a safe place to take wood. Sending more elite skirms over to keep himself safe on this one last little wood line that he has. Gonna send elite skirms over toward the Max here and probably a ton of villagers behind it to try to grab wood on top of the map on this side. Red player, ooh, heard the onager shot, but it did not land. Red player here's got 71 vills. He's actually still got a pretty formidable economy. Just gotta make sure that he can get some safe wood. Man, I keep saying wood. I keep talking about wood. I'm obsessed. Looks like Tim will grab a couple of onagers here. He's going to grab one. Villagers coming over to repair. Looks like in the end, man, Tim's army is going to get mostly cleaned up on that side. Max with 100 wood in the bank, but he's got a pretty solid wood eco. Tim with 100 wood in the bank, and that is really troublesome. That really could spell doom for him. Just 100 wood left for the red player, who's literally chopped the entire wood out of his side of the map. He's had about 60 to 70% of map control all game, and he just does not control the right 60 to 70%. The Max's smaller portion of the map just seems to have a lot more resource on it. Anyway, for the moment, we've got a bit of a stalemate, both players pulling back a little bit and regrouping. Tim is going to give up on this wood line. There's only about 100 wood left there, 150 wood. He's going to go ahead and send villagers across the map to try to take some resource, maybe up in this area, just desperately trying to get something done. Onagers from the Max are still rolling forward, still putting down damage. Looks like he's going to start spreading units every which way. Blue player very focused on controlling the top of this hill. Tim wanted to send villagers over there to build a lumber camp, but is going to have to settle for taking wood in the dead center of the map. Okay, a little bit more of elite skirm raiding at the moment. Military number, though, from Tim is really dropping. He's got about 1/3 the size of the Max's army. Tim's had more vills all game, but that doesn't always mean that you're going to win, right? 500 wood, 1.3k food, 162 gold. The Max is starting to stockpile a bit of wood, has a lot more food in the bank, and as we know from the relic count, is getting gold more quickly. So we will see these guys continue to roll through, but it's looking like the Max is really going to start to squeeze Tim out of this game. You could come over and push Tim off this wood line. It would have to be GG. Let's see. I hear a treb. Is that a treb I hear in the distance? Thought I heard some treb fire coming in. Where, oh where could my trebby be? There it is. Looks like the Max will start to treb down buildings on the opposite side. He's going to go ahead and target another castle. At the moment, Tim's still holding on to 4 really nicely located castles. The real estate business, it's all about location, location, location. And right now, those castles, which are in a great spot, are going to start to get pressured. That being said, a couple of onager shots could take this treb down. Ooh, nice sniping there from the Max. He's going to knock down an onager with his treb. Will he get 2? Oh, he's going to go for the lumber camp. But in the end, the blue player will take both of those onagers down from Tim. He's going to win that castle, and he's going to start trying to push that side. In the meantime, Tim will continue to push in with elite skirms. He's going to just do everything he can to protect that wood line in the center. It is mission critical on that side. Villagers coming from every which way, from hither and thither, to drop down. A couple more lumber camps here and try to start re-establishing the wood eco. Max floating 2.5k wood, 5k food. Tim on the other side is getting a pretty good wood economy going. And he should be able to rebuild some of his military here in not too long of a time. Problem is that he's about to lose this castle, and he's going to slowly start to lose territory on that corner. Max is just hanging out defending trebs. He's playing like you play when you're a kid. You build a huge army big enough to win the game, but you're just hanging out defending your trebs. Just going to slowly use one treb to push down that side of the map. Pretty soon, once that castle's down, I think his plumes can run in there with impunity. They can run in and do damage. Look at this. The Max will build one monk and start to heal up these plumes. Get those plumes ready for the late game. Talk about trying to get more mileage. Being conservative with your resources. Spending a little bit of that relic gold to keep all of these plumes healthy and strong. I like it. Like it. Very nice. The Max is doing a very nice job here to keep his units on their feet. This game is all about patience and endurance. These two players have been playing for just about 2 hours of game time. We've been going through it a little bit more quickly than that. Hopefully it's been entertaining and enjoyable to you guys. But man, I can't imagine playing this one in real time. I would be exhausted. Tim's going to come over and defend his wood line once again with a massive army. He's lost that wood line in the middle. He's in a lot of trouble as we speak. He's still trying to find a way to win this game. But the Max is giving him fits. Couple of decent onager shots. Looks like for now, Tim's going to hold that hill, but he's going to slowly get dwindled down. The onagers have really been the difference maker in this game. Max has had several big onager shots. He's been able to afford more onagers. He's been focused on that all game. Tim was a little more focused on going with rams, and in the end, he just didn't really get any game-changing onager shots with those rams. That's right, you heard me. Anyway, for the moment, Tim is still trying to hold on and fight and try to win this game. Another onager in the vicinity here for the Max. Could be a big shot on the way if he micros it properly. It's a pretty decent onager shot. Grab down a couple of these elite skirms and continue to dwindle Tim's military number, which is down to 33 units. This is effectively half of Tim's army. He's slowly but surely getting dwindled on that side. Elite skirms roaming up the middle for the blue player. Elite skirms also coming to the top flank. We've got onagers rolling up this hill, slowly taking down barracks, taking down buildings as fast as they can. One Treb still in the mix, still trying to do some damage. The plumes are still just hanging out here in defense. Not really in defense, but they're waiting, they're resting on their laurels here as the one monk heals this group up. The Max is being ultra conservative with his plumes right now, but that's all right. He's focusing on other parts of the map. He's absolutely hands down winning this game at this point, up by 12,000 in the score. But it's really just Tim's lack of wood gathering that is going to be his downfall. Tim, at the moment, is really getting low on everything. He is going to be very disparaged to know that the Max here is floating 5k wood and 10k food. This game is starting to feel like it's over. Tim's going to send in more vills to the top side to desperately try to take that wood line. Oh my god, he's going to go Elite Eagle. How did he afford that? Elite Eagle is coming in right now for Tim. I don't know how he made that happen all of a sudden. Must have sold and redistributed some resources, but he got the Elite Eagle Warrior on the way. That's going to be, well, it's probably going to be too late. It would be a great unit choice to deal with all the skirmishers on the map here from the Max. Let's see, this one is looking like it's going to be going in the Max's favor here relatively soon. Tim is going to give it the old college try with a couple of Elite Eagles. I'll start running those in and seeing if he can do some damage to some skirms. Let's see if 4 Eagles can kill 20 Elite skirms. Looks like for the moment those skirms are in retreat. The Max is going to regroup. He can win this fight still. He's just got so many skirmishers here that it's probably not going to matter that those are Elite Eagles. Tim's going to need quite a lot more than that to get the job done. Treb's still working on top of the hill here for the Max. Going to slowly knock down another castle. Looks like the Elite Eagles are coming in to target down that Treb. Let's see if they can get the job done here. Yeah, they will get the job done. Elite skirms will probably take this entire group down before they get home. They're able to kill a Treb. Tim is going to start streaming villagers forward once again. He's got 82 villagers. He's had more villagers than his opponent all game, but the military numbers have been in the Max's favor pretty much as long as I can remember. That player is just going to come forward and desperately try to take wood on that wood line. And this game is going to continue. Oh my sweet lord. This game is going to continue at least a little bit longer. Tim's doing some Elite Eagle raiding right now. He's trying to keep his opponent honest if he can. He's way behind in the score, but the Max is not looking like he's within striking distance of a knockout blow. I mean, Tim could see the writing on the wall and call GG if he wants to. But the Max is not going to be able to waltz into that eco for a little while. It's going to take a little bit longer for him to close this game out. A couple nice onager shots there. Tim will lose quite a few elite skirms. And the Max here is going to be able to walk back to this wood line. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the last couple eagles here. He's going to walk up to this wood line and kill everybody with elite plumes. Like I said, those plumes have gotten massive amounts of mileage this game, and they will probably get several more kills here in just a few moments. A couple of elite eagles here and there for Tim, trying to switch up the pace of the game. Actually, it doesn't look like the plumes will do the job. It looks like elite skirms will do the job. One-shotting Vils from the top of this hill, and just making sure that Tim does not establish a wood economy. Tim's still strapped for resources, still nowhere near pop cap, 124 pop. The Max is actually not pop capped either for the moment, but he certainly has the resources to build more trash if he wants to. Tim hemorrhaging Vils from the middle of the map. The Max will go foraging. He's going to make maybe a transition to Halb here in the long run. Barracks coming down, aplenty for the blue player. Let's keep an eye on this. Nothing queued in the barracks just yet. I wonder if the Max is going to follow suit here and go with some eagles of his own. We'll see in a moment. For now, it is a full-on skirmisher battle. Tim on top of the hill, but it seems like the Max has pretty massively overwhelming numbers. Villagers from Tim are going to gather around this lumber camp and say prayers for their army to please win this fight. Elite plumes on the bottom of the hill, those are still alive. There's still a bunch of them left. They are absolutely going to have a field day with killing those villagers relatively soon. More armies in the middle of the map from Tim, but not seeming like he has enough units to really get the job done. Max is leading by 12k in the score. Squires and tracking on the way. Villagers are under some pressure here, and this has got to be... This is the end of the end, I think, for Tim. He's still got 88 villagers left, but I just don't see any way that he's going to win this game. I don't see any way he's going to win, but we've come this far in the marathon, and maybe the Max will die of old age, and Tim can win the game. Maybe the Max will die of old age mid-fight here. Elite Eagle coming for the Max as we speak. It looks like he is going to start to produce some sweet elite eagles, but I don't think he needs it, man. There's 18 military units right now for Tim, who's somehow continuing to keep his economy going, but, you know, there's not a lot of resource here. Not a whole lot of resource left. Tim's still got 3 castles alive, which is hilarious. 3 well-positioned castles still alive here for the red player. And he's still got an army. Somehow, some way, he does have a group of elite eagles which are going to come forward and they're going to attack inside of the economy here of the Max. What is going on? Is this game ever going to end? Holy Lord. 2 hours of game time in, and it's looking like Tim, I don't think he has a great opportunity to win, but he's got some eagles alive, which has to be encouraging for him. Has to be at least a little bit encouraging for him. The Max is still refusing to really go forward and try to win this game. He's still got he's got 132 military, but he's just playing so defensively. He's going to send his entire army back to deal with this group of eagles. So, for the moment, let's go ahead and click this one up just a little bit faster in speed. Let's see how this one ends. Tim's going to get out of dodge with his eagles as to not waste them. The Max will again come in with his elite plumes and start knocking down villagers. This is where one thing that Command & Conquer did a little better than AOC. You could click on one unit. Do you remember that? From like 0 hour. It would tell you how many kills that unit had. I would love to see how many kills some of these plumes have. You must have dozens of kills at this point in the game. They've been alive for over an hour, some of them. That would be good too, a timer that says how long that plume has been alive for. Ah, that'd be really cool. Anyway, at the moment we are seeing Tim with a little bit of new life here. He's got a rather small army of 58 units, but he's still forward on the Max, and he's still keeping pressure on him somehow. The Max might just be trying to honeypot Tim into one last bad fight. Looks like Tim will walk in and take on those elite, I don't even know what they're called anymore, the elite skirms, but the plumes will get in a ton of damage on these eagles from a distance. Eagle warriors here are going to chew up the army of skirms, but in the meantime, they themselves will be destroyed. And that's almost assuredly going to be the final nail in the coffin. Hopefully not literally for Tim. He's not actually going to die of old age, as we might have speculated before. Looks like this one is starting to wrap up. Tim's going to lose his wood line on the top. The Max controls the wood line here for now. More eagles coming from the red player. Elite Eagle did come in for the Max, but I don't know how many he's built. I don't know if he's built any. Yeah, there's a couple of Elite Eagles here, the blue player. Elite skirms somehow working their way into the economy, and Tim continues to fight this game out. Elite Eagles would do incredibly well against this group of skirms, so it looks like the Max here is going to have a decent fight on his hands. Just 8 Elite Eagles, but I think they can walk in here and take the fight here pretty easily. But until then, it looks like the Max will kill each and every single villager on that side. Both players sending in Elite Eagles to clean up a group of Elite skirms. No big surprise there. Tim again taking wood in the middle of the map. What is going on? This game is still going. It's starting to look again like Tim has momentum on his side. The Max here, if I was critiquing his play, I would say has been super reluctant to raid the bulk of Tim's eco. There are villagers here on Tim's eco who have never even heard of a war. They don't even know what an arrow looks like. Those villagers are just happily working away inside that eco. Tim's raiding has kept him in the game. And yeah, the Max here is just playing so defensively. Plate mail armor on the way for the blue player. Tim's coming back with another group of villagers to try to chop the 7 trees that are left here. Can't blame him, he's got to do something desperate. He's chopped out all of the wood lines almost all over the map. Elite skirms still starving Tim of resource. At this point, he does have a little bit of wood and food in the bank. No gold to speak of, not very much stone to speak of. The Max is going to be floating a ton of wood and a ton of food. This is a battle of attrition at the moment. Eagle's coming back in to do some raiding. Absolute battle of attrition. The Max's score is ridiculously high, but it doesn't really even matter. That score doesn't really matter at all. Kill-death ratio is almost 2 to 1. That doesn't really matter either. What matters is that the Max has wood, and he has enough wood to build farms, and Tim really doesn't. Tim has to keep sending villagers out, basically to their deaths. He's going to send another group of vills out here to try to take some wood. In the meantime, Tim doing a little bit of raiding with some Elite Eagles. He's killed a bunch of villagers here. Max here has probably lost 10 vills before he even responds to this. Needs to send his own Elite Eagles back home, and he will do so soon. Tim's going to send more villagers to the middle of the map to chop wood. What in the actual hell is going on here? 2 hours, 15 minutes of game time. Holy sweet Jesus. Holy sweet Jesus, guys. Right now, it is looking like... It's looking once again like the Max has overwhelming numbers. It's looking like once again he will kill several of Tim's vills. And it's looking like once again we are not going to see a GG from the red player. Red player here is still fighting. Can't really blame him. He's like raiding and annoying and doing damage over and over to the Max, who has shown a complete reluctance to go forward and actually do damage to his opponent's side of the map. The Max is playing the sure thing here, and the sure thing is if he defends the wood lines on his side, he's going to win. But man, it is absolutely brutal. I am so ready for bed right now. May fall asleep on top of the mic. May get impaled in the eye by my own microphone. Elite Eagles coming forward. Elite Skirms alongside him, knocking down villagers, knocking down Eagles from Tim. Tim's going to have some Eagles here late, but not quite early enough to take this fight. Tim will give the capital GG, as will theMax. I'll give the capital GG times 20. That was absolutely that was a Dusenheimer. It was a doozy, if you will. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. At this point in the match, you'll see a flaming symbol in the top left corner. If you want to be flaming and join the Killer Bee channel, please feel free to do so. Click that button and subscribe. I really appreciate the support from everybody. Feel free to comment on these videos as well. Hit me up at killer.b.aoc@gmail if you're interested. Or click the video in the bottom right, which is going to just be a random recommendation of something that YouTube thinks you might enjoy from my channel. Thanks for tuning in to this epically long game. Hopefully you don't feel like I do right now. I feel like absolute hell. theMax here, even at the end, controls like 25% of the map, maybe 30% of the map, and he still wins the game. He had less villagers than Tim all game long by 20 or more, and he still wins the game. His kill death is just absolutely massive. Those couple of relics that he had gave him a massive advantage in total amount of gold he could utilize. It allowed him to build siege onagers, and it got him the win. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this game. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Killer Bee. Catch you all next time. Much love. Bye.